The Canadian Card Collector here, and welcome back to day 430 of a daily deck review. And the deck that we're taking a look at today is the Royal Mischief Transformation playing cards. So, no further ado, we'll take a look and see what we'll get. So here we have the Royal Mischief Transformation playing cards in a more matte finish tuck box. It says Patrick Valenzas. So Patrick Valenzas must be the a creator or artist for this deck of cards here. And it says US Game Systems Inc. at the bottom there. And then you got one of the clubs here, like the Queen of Clubs there. Something on top there. The black border with the little red accents in the corners. On one side it says Royal Mischief. 54 Fiendish cards. 2 Impish Jokers. And then you got a little design there. Other side has the barcode and transformation deck with the suit marks hidden in the art. On the bottom, you just got like some corporate information there. These are made in China. And then on the back, little sneak peek of that 8 of diamonds there. And it says includes 54 cards. Yeah. And it says pop goes the mischief. Yeah. And this is not a regular talk box, as you can see, because the little flap is not like on the top here. So you kind of just grab it here. Then you pull it open there. So on the inside of the talk box, you got a little bit of kind of a reddish orange kind of colorway here on the top. And then the cards are here on the inside there. Take those out for a second. And on the other side, it's just that kind of reddish color as well. And now that we took a look at the talk box, I'm going to take a look at the cards. And first, we'll start with that back side. So here we have a mirrored back design. Yeah. With a border, it's a bordered mirrored back design there. With like a tan colored back design. So it's a tan and red kind of colorway to the cards. Yeah. And they're more of a plastic kind of finish to the cards. As you can see, they're really glossy and shiny there. Yeah. And they have that like kind of more like a flower kind of design there in the middle with an eye, and then some other kind of little designs around it and a little fancy border. And then these mirrors, if you flip it over, same design in both directions. So now for the cards you get with the deck. And here we're going to start with the first card here. We'll just talk about this one a little bit. So as you can see, this is the custom Ace of Spades here. Ace of Spades there. And you can see that a spade there is kind of hidden with inside the art there. So it's like the tie of the shirt. And it says oodles of doodles. So it tells you what the card is, kind of, a little description of it. And that is throughout every card. So as you see, the spades are kind of hidden within the art. But I won't like go too much in detail with these cards, just because there's a lot of them. But I will quickly fan through them all. There's definitely lots of detail. Some of the cards are upside down a little bit. And then you got the core cards, which are slightly different. These are like full like borderless designs there from the ace to 10 there, and then the court cards have a little bit of a border there. So they're more like a skull kind of creature there for the court cards. And then you got the diamonds here. So they're all definitely fully custom. As you can see, the different style art there. And there's definitely, this even looks really cool in a uncut sheet. I do have an uncut sheet of these. So someday I'll show all my uncut sheets off. And you can see that this in here. I'll try to go a little quicker so we're not taking too long to look at all these. Well, there's just definitely lots of detail. Like they skipped no effort on the details at all. Like, just look at all those details. Like, down to the faces, to like the little, everything is just fully detailed. So this is definitely a deck you would like to have in your collection because you're going to stare at the arts for a really long time. Yeah, because there's like 54 different art styles and arts in here. And then you got lastly, you got the two jokers here. You got the black, one with the black star and then one with the red star there. So jokers there. But now that we looked at the cards, let's test the handling. Well, and the edges are slightly, they're not really gilded, but they're kind of almost at the same time, just because they have that kind of more, kind of grayish, kind of silver kind of tone to the edges there. Well, like I said, they have that more plasticky feel to it, so they're definitely a thicker card. They're a lot thicker of a card. But first, we'll start with the springs. And I gotta say, these do not really spring at all. I have to put like so much pressure into like trying to even bend the cards at all. Like I can get them to lightly spring, but they don't really work for springs because most people wouldn't be able to spring these. I can barely even spring them, but I'm used to springing lots of cards, so I can kind of like slightly spring these. But like, yeah, they barely even bend. Now onto the fans, and they kind of fan, but the plastic kind of cards they definitely like stick together, but they still do spin a little bit. Better than you would expect from like a plastic deck of cards. You can kind of see some of the pips and numbers, but not really. So they definitely do stick together a little bit. And now time for the Pharaoh. And they definitely can Pharaoh. You just gotta like put like kind of push them together. But they like weave together pretty nicely though. And now for a giant fan of the back design. If it'll work. Oh yeah, you can definitely giant fan them. They definitely giant fan. Pretty nice. Now for that reverse Pharaoh. And they pretty much reverse Pharaoh the same because you gotta like still push them together. Now for a giant fan of the faces. There you go, you can kind of see some of the arch there, like a bunch of it. All that detail. So decent giant fans, nothing like too crazy. Not like perfect or anything, but still like better than you still expect. Now for the riffle shuffle or bridge shuffle. And now they definitely riffle shuffle and bridge shuffle, but when you go to bridge them, like when you like bend them like this, you can definitely tell they're really stiff and thick. Well, it still works. It's just really hard to bend them, and you got more of a softer, like feel to like the riffle there or the bridge. And when you go to bridge them, it's definitely a softer like bridge there. But they still do riffle, but just not like smoothly or anything. But maybe the more you shuffle them, they might get a little bit like smoother. But they still will definitely still stick together and stuff. Now for a few little packet cuts. Overall, they still pack it pretty nice. Like I always say, like most decks, unless it's like a different size or shape, they'll pack it cut pretty much exactly the same. Pretty much, as some cards might like be more slippery or stuff. Like these ones, like they stick together a little bit more compared to like an air cushion finish deck, more nice and smooth. But they still like pack it pretty nicely though. And now for that one-handed cut or Chevalier cut, they definitely can one-handed cut. They just kind of like slightly stick together when you're doing it. Because right here, when I go to like packet them to like swap them on top, they kind of get stuck together. So if you're buying these, you're not really buying them to like shuffle them up. I just do it so I can show you how they handle and stuff and how they look while they're handling. Yeah. And they still do shuffle good though, like decent. But you're mostly buying these just for like the art designs on the cards there. And now for the dribble. And definitely gotta say these are a little bit clumpy. They're definitely sharp edges, like the edges are a little bit more sharp just because they're that plastic kind of coated. So they will dig into your fingers a little bit. But they definitely still dribble a little bit, but the dribbles are a little bit messy and clumpy. Like I usually say they're pretty smooth dribbles, but with these ones they're plastic coated. So they're definitely a little bit clumpy, but they still do dribble there. And it's pretty much the same grip on either side. But now for that spread fan, which does definitely not work. As you can see, they clumped up horribly. And once again, more clump. Well, and lastly, spread the cards on the table. Well, I gotta say, a pretty nice deck of cards, though. Like, you got that decent back design. Nothing, like, too crazy with that back design. It was still pretty nice and standard back design. But the real part of the cards are the faces here, which we took a look at. And you got those 54 different art, like, pictures there, like, images and stuff. And how, like, the pips, like, the suits there, kind of blend into the cards, which is pretty unique. And there's definitely lots of art to look at. So you can look at these for like a long time there, because each one is fully different there, with lots of detail. So fantastic artwork here. And then for the handling, which won't really show you again, because they're that plastic coated, so they didn't handle the best at all. Like you could still lightly shuffle them up a little bit, but like most stuff doesn't work. Yeah, like you can dribble them a little bit. And dribbling works okay. Springing does not really work because they're super stiff. Can't really fan them because they clump up a lot. They can kind of like riffle shuffle them. If you keep doing it over time, then they'll loosen up a little bit and get a little bit more flexible. Because they definitely feel a lot more smoother than the first one I did. And the best thing they do is packet cut. Because they like nice and pack it together really good. But other than that, these do not handle good at all. They have pretty nice arch on them though. That's pretty much the only reason to have them there. So, fantastic art, but the handling is not good at all. So if you want good handling cards, I would not recommend these at all. But if you want some nice looking cards, then I would recommend these. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. This has been day 430 of Daily Deck Review. This has been the Royal Mischief Transformation playing cards. And I'm the Canadian Card Collector signing out. That's the video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye!